Good evening to each one of you. A warm welcome to our principal, vice principal, our guest speaker. On behalf of HSNC University and HR College, I welcome each one of you for the FI Induction series. This FI Induction series are exclusively curated for our FI students, and these series will enhance the knowledge of the FI students, not in one field, but in management, commerce, you talk about finance, marketing, commerce, economics, medicine, etc., etc. These series have been running consecutively for the continuous many years, and then students get a lot of knowledge and insight on various fields. So before we start, I just want to mention, just as the enduring success of any great organization relies on a solid foundation, our institution thrives on the strength, vision, and leadership of a dynamic principal. Ma'am will be joining soon over here. And today we have with us a very, very senior and a very known personality, Mr. Rakesh Nair. Mr. Rakesh Nair is a seasoned capital market professional with extensive experience in Indian financial sector. He holds academic qualification in economics and international business, making significant contribution to finance, capital market, and financial management. Sir has been a senior faculty of capital markets and now the head of academics and delivery at FINX Institute Limited. Rakesh sir had decades-long stint in derivatives option trading and equity advisory and research. Sir has also been associated with various academic institutions as a visiting faculty and as a corporate trainer for mutual funds and other BFSI institutions. Rakesh sir holds a MSc in International Business Economics from the University of Westminster, London, and MA in Economics from Mumbai University. He has also completed his BA in Economics from Mumbai University. He recently achieved a PG diploma in Strategic Management from IIM Nagpur. I proudly also say that sir is a advisory member in a BFM committee as BFM board as well. So sir, without taking much of ado, and also to mention that sir is going to cover on a very, very interesting topic on finance, which is money never sleeps, and why it's so interesting, why finance runs the world. So over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor. Very good evening to everyone, all students. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so good evening to the principal as well. I understand she's not in class at this point, so at any stage she walks in advance. A good evening to her as well.
Yes, we have a vice principal, sir, over here.
Oh, she is. Okay.
Yes.
Good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. Ma'am is also joining in 2 minutes, sir.
Wonderful. Very happy to be doing this session. I've been working with HR and HSNC for more than 10 years now. Our relations go back to my days as part of the Bombay Stock Exchange. And I'm very happy that even at this time, with new job profiles, but we still continue this relation. I'm happy to be advising students and the college as well on how we can make curriculum in tune with the requirements of today's BFSI industry. I understand in this audience today we have students who are aspirants of financial markets, BBA, and accounting and finance as well. So I have a very short presentation. At any stage, if you feel like asking any question, please feel free to drop your message in the chat box, and possibly you can also come online on the microphone and also speak to me. So I'll speak to you for like 45 minutes, and then last 10 minutes maybe we can have a Q&A session. So basically, this is what the agenda is for the day. I can see some students are quite excited to be writing on the screen, but allow me 45 minutes. I hope I would be good enough to convince you as to why you have taken the right decision in pursuing your academics, whatever that is left, what started 15 years back. So I have to tell you something. This title which I've chosen, I just kind of brainstormed, and it is something that has been bothering me for quite some time. The reason being that I'm sure I speak for the other faculties as well. I have been I come from Generation X. I was born in the 1970s, and unlike the current generation, I have seen a life with and without technology. And I've seen life with few options when it comes to financial instruments, choices that we had. And today, as we see, today we have a lot of securities in which we can invest our money. And more so, also for the fact that expenses have gone up, and also we have become a lot more consumerist. The fact that we're living longer than what we a generation back before me did. So a lot of things have to work. A lot of decisions have to be taken in advance so that you secure yourself. And needless to say, education has become very, very expensive as well. I I used to pay my parents used to pay not more than 1,000 rupees when I was in college, but now we pay in lakhs. So money has to grow, and strategically we have to deploy money for many things because we have become a lot more aspirational. Now, I'm not a good speaker based. I don't like to speak based on presentation. So the presentation is just for you all to just read while I just interact with you. So I will not be talking based on what you see on the PPT presentation. You can always see that as a background for this discussion. So this is broadly what I'm discussing with you. But most important of all, last 10 years has been quite interesting for us in the markets, for you especially, because possibly you all may have started talking about markets maybe about 5 years back. But as I spoke about my generation, my father's generation, and how we invested money and how my fathers did. Um, See, the census started way back in 1986. 1978 is when the foundation was done, obviously. But the starting point for the index that we know as census today started way back in 1986. It was then 100 points. And today, as I speak to you in 2026, effectively 40 years since, index now hang around 75 to 80,000 points on the Sensex and between 23 and 27,000 points on the Nifty. Nifty, of course, came later in the 1990s. My father's generation never had stock market as an investment choice. He never invested in stock markets. He didn't understand stock markets, and there was no one to teach him stock markets either. But had my father invest 100 rupees then, today after 40 years, he would be sitting on about 75,000 rupees. That is a returns of close to about 16 to 17% CAGR. CAGR stands for compounded annual growth rate. So imagine you invest in money, and every year you're getting returns of 17% per annum. I can't think of any other product where returns can be double digit for a duration that is as long as 40 years. Anything more than 10 to 11%. So the last 40 years of returns the index have given us is about 16 to 17%. And today, as I speak to you, for the last 1 decade, the returns is somewhere between 10 to 12%. Last 1.5 years has not been very exciting in the market for many reasons, including the crisis that we have in the Middle East, the Ukraine-Russia thing, the oil prices going all over the place. And today, as I speak to you, even monsoon is going to be quite interesting because India depends a lot on monsoon. So anyway, if you consider 12% returns, that's not bad. If you think about considering the fact that it is about 1.5 times the inflation levels. But if you look at the Indian story over the last 1 decade, our markets have gone all over the place. If you see the current prime minister that we have, he won the election in 2014-15. After he won the election, the market gave in that period we got a returns of about 33%. And then we had a lot of economic policies that came through in the form of demonetization, in the form of GST introduction. That 33 was wiped off. The markets went minus 7%. Then GST came, the market went up 28%. Then COVID happened, the market crashed 80%. And today, as I speak to you, the markets are around 26%. So if you see, our markets have gone all over the place in the last 10 years. So money is working for some money is not working. But the point is, capital markets is a zero-sum game. When someone is losing money, someone has to, at some point, gain money. Someone's profit is someone's loss. So I hope this session is interesting. So why it's not about money, it's about decisions that you make. You know, if you see the title, I would want to show it to you one more time. It says money never sleeps. So what I'm trying to say is that money never sleeps. But the point is that sleep depends a lot on decisions that you take. If you if I have to take you back to the opening slide, I don't know if you have noticed one small little comment. I intentionally put that comment very, very small because I wanted you all to focus at the right hand side of my screen where I'm pointing the mouse. Something as simple as opening a bank account. The Jan Dhan account, I don't know if you've heard about that, that stands at little more than 68 crore. The population of our country is about 140 crore. That's little less than 50% of India have opened Jan Dhan account. That shows the importance of why movement of money from those who have to those who do not have is quite necessary. Because end of the day, any economy, any household for that matter, because you can call economy in a broader scale, even a family is in a sense an economy. And for the economy to work, money has to circulate, money has to move, money has to work. So that one decision that you are taken about opening a simple bank account, I don't know if you know this, half of the Indian population are women, and half of that Indian population, women, do not have access to bank accounts. So imagine what would happen if that that 25% of India's population got into the banking system, into the BFSI space, and how much money that can circulate, that can move from those who have to those who do not have. That is why financial inclusion is extremely important for any economy to thrive. So finance is not about money, it's about decisions that you make. See, it is for the businesses, it is important because businesses need money to do the R&D work, to do introduce new products. And as I speak to you, even new technology that we have been talking about, AIs and whatnot, fintech in our industry, artificial intelligence in everything that includes legal, medical science, financial markets, softwares, hardware, whatever it is. We have new businesses, new thought processes being developed. For the government raised 11.1 lakh crore for the purpose of capital expenditure. The idea was that we need to have proper road network, we need to have schools, we need to have defenses. Household 68 crore done Jan Dhan account. And if you see the Fed height, look at that one statement on the right hand side. The world is connected now. It's not like in the past where if something happens in the Middle East, India would be immune. The era of subprimes are over. Subprimes we may have survived way back in 2007 because we were not as infused to the global economic system then as it is today. But today, if the Fed simply hides as much as 1/4%, it can lead to a depreciation of Indian rupee. It can lead to movement of money out from within the country to out of the country. So you can see here the Fed hike is 25 basis point. We can see rupee depreciates. We can see FIS money moving out of the system. So what does the current story look like? One is we have had zero income tax up to 12 lakh rupees. The RBI has been consistently cutting interest rates, but I do not know if that is possible going forwards if we continue to see monsoon not really working in our favor. IPOs, India has had one of the highest number of IPOs opening. And if you have seen yesterday's newspaper, we'll have one of the biggest IPOs happening in India when NSE lists on the stock exchange. And of course, we have 65 lakh crore. This one point here is something that you need to know. When I'm pointing the mouse, look at the Indian AUM. AUM is asset under management. It simply means that all of us contribute money, and those who do not have understanding of stock exchange, we can essentially collect their money, give it to a fund manager the fund manager decides to park that money in a series of equities and debt instruments. In the US, the US stock markets are effectively double the size of their GDP. The US GDP is somewhere around 20 to $25 trillion. The US stock markets is roughly around 45 to $50 trillion. In India, the Indian stock markets are roughly about 4.7 trillion US dollars. But what makes America fundamentally different is that 50% of their asset under management, that includes provident funds, pension funds, mutual funds, everything. Mutual fund alone contributes about 50% to their asset under management. 50%. Whereas in India, the mutual fund contributes not more than 15% to the asset under management. But traditionally, India has always invested in pension funds and provident funds and insurance. But mutual funds have not really seen the potential that it actually truly has. But imagine if 50% of our asset under management happens to be mutual fund investment, where would the index be today? Money has to work. For money has to work, people have to rightfully decide where they would want their money to be parked, whether they would want their money to be in fixed deposits or would they want their money to be in mutual funds, real estate, gold, and whatnot. Every time that you buy gold, now in gold is something Indians absolutely love. It is part of our culture. We have got festivities called Akshaya Tritiya and so on. But imagine every time that you walk into a gold shop, all those Malabar gold or whatnot, when you walk into a gold shop to buy jewelries, you're walking out already with minus 20 of the asset value because you lose money to taxation, you lose money to other metal that go into manufacturing of gold as jewelry. You're already minus 15% in terms of valuations. Every time that you go into a Malabar or a Kalyan gold or to buy jewelries. Nifty index today is at 24,000. I would say less than 24,000 as I speak to you, but this is how the markets are. Guys, at this point, any questions? I don't know if this topic would be interesting. I know you're very young to be talking about economy and derivatives and all those things, but obviously with social media and all those things, with information access at fingertips, I'm sure this generation is many years ahead of us. What we would have been when we were in our 12th or just about to enter degree college. So, any questions at this point, people?
Sir, we'll take questions at the end if that's fine.
Okay, all right. So our financial markets is broadly called the BFSI industry, as it is in any other case. So BFSI stands for banking, financial services, and insurance industry. Now, I would want to speak to you about the potential that this sector has in India, because if you look at India's GDP, I'm sure you have done your 11th and 12th. Possibly you may have had a subject called economics in which you have studied about GDP and things like that. You would know that 55% of India's GDP happens to be services. When I say services, that includes the banking services, hospitality, IT, hotel, education, and all those things. So, if you look at if you do you know what is the size of the BFSI space as a percentage of India's GDP today? Pretty much one third of India's GDP. Pretty much one third of India's GDP today is BFSI industry. If you look at the composition of the Sensex that we have, a very important benchmark index, about 37% of the index weight on the Sensex are BFSI industry. So pretty much we're talking about a segment that contributes one third to GDP of our country, and this segment will going forward will be a great place not just to invest money but also to look at employment opportunity. We're looking at a major disruption that the financial markets will go through over the next 1 decade, especially because of the fact that the attitude towards stock markets are changing. In fact, I had a very interesting conversation many years back. I was talking to somebody, many as in 3 to 4 years back. I was talking to somebody about how generations are changing and how they perceive investments. My father's generation, that their personal investment was always fixed deposit and gold. My generation was all about stock markets. The generation that came after me, the millennials, they believed in mutual funds and all other asset classes. And today I'm addressing a generation that mostly will find stock markets to be boring, but they would find cryptocurrencies and digital assets as the next place of investment. So of course, as time passes, generation change, attitude towards financial products also change. But the point is, this segment is very, very important because the entire BFSI space is disrupted in terms of how the borrower and the lender interact. Today, everything is called fintech. Is BSE, NSE, London Stock Exchange, are they really a finance company or are they a fintech company? Settlement happens in T plus one and T plus zero. So when you buy and sell shares, in some cases you get shares in within a day's time, and in some counter you get the shares on the same day of transaction. And so that means technology has crept into the industry. So BFSI industry is essentially becoming fintech, and a major disruption is in place. And that disruption has further been augmented with introduction of AI platforms like Claude, ChatGPT, and all those things. So our financial markets effectively is split into four segments. We have capital markets where shares, debt instruments are bought and sold. Then we have a banking and credit markets in which you have got banking institutions that lend money to corporate sector. Governments also borrow money. Now we have got microfinances for people who want to do startups and looking for loans as little as 2 to 5 lakhs. And most important of all, we also have got insurance industry, a industry that even today is one of the largest insurance market in the world, but still in terms of penetration in the population, it is quite small because hardly 1/10 of India today actually has any form of medical insurance. The fact that Jandan was introduced many years back, the Jandan managed to bring a lot of people who were tipped largely outside of the insurance industry. They have come into the segment. And of course, then we have the introduction of CBDC. I don't know how many of you have had the chance to use CBDC, the digital currency that India has launched. If not, you should try it out. Though it's still in the very early stage, given the fact that most of us prefer to use Google and Beams and other payment gateways. But CBDC is another thing that will change the way banks interact with each other, and RBI is also trying to promote that segment. And then the most important of all, buy now and pay later. This generation wouldn't mind buying an iPhone on loan on EMI because you have the option to buy now and pay later. Even I've seen cars advertisements on Instagram these days where you actually have a moratorium of not paying the EMI for 3 months, and they can go and buy a car after 3 months. So imagine how much finances have crept into all aspects of our lives. Now, school fees can be paid in 12 installments. Who would have thought about that? So, there are agencies that allow you to pay school and college fees in equal installments without any additional expenses. So, are we living a borrowed life? Essentially, we are living a borrowed life. There used to be a time. I don't know I don't know if I'm going fast, given the fact that we are just 1 hour session. There used to be a time when India would save 1/3 of every 100 that they earn. It was called the savings to GDP ratio. There was a time when India would save 33%, 30 to 33% of every 100 rupees that they earn. Today, that India saves only about 25 to 27%. So we have become consumerists now. That means we're not shy to spend anymore. We can call that aspirations, definitely. Purchasing power have gone up. We can certainly call that as aspirations, but India is not able to. And this spending, this consumerism, is something that will change the way India places itself globally in terms of business opportunities. Now, why have you taken the right decision to enter this segment? 91 trillion rupees is the market capitalization as of 2025. 91 trillion rupees. Look at the contribution of just the BFSI space. If you widen that to include everything, that's about 37%. It contributes 27% to India's GDP. So pretty much you are essentially talking about a segment that contributes 1/4 and to the max of 1/3 to India's GDP. It is a segment that have given returns of 22% CAGR over the last 20 years. Do not confuse this CAGR with ones I told you about the index, which has given return of 17%. This is the entire segment BFSI that has given a return of 22%. That means so every 100 rupees that somebody invests, the take home is 22%. And BFSI, for those who do not know, it stands for banking, financial services, and the insurance industry. This is one segment that is growing 3 times the GDP of our country, 3 times. So look at the opportunity that we have. And in this segment, 57% is banking. That is a traditional banking. The NBFCs contribute at about 18%. Asset under management contributes about 12%. Insurance contributes about 9%, and fintech 4%. And this 4% will no doubt be 8% in another 5 to 6 years for the reasons that our industry is changing. And if you look at the left-hand side of my screen, you will see how BFSI market cap has grown over the last 20 years. It has gone from as little as 2 trillion rupees to as much as 91 trillion rupees in just under 2 decades. If you do the maths, money grows, money works. Do a CAGR and see how much BFSI market cap has grown over the last 2 decades. So the sector where career growth. So this is a major segment. So this is a structural growth. So BFSI is going through a massive change in terms of skill sets and operations. With Gen AI coming into the offices and agentic AI coming into offices, you will see many of the traditional roles that humans used to do would be lost to AI platforms. My generation saw the banking clerks losing their job the moment they introduced net banking and digital banking. That is my generation. The Gen X people who grew up in the 80s and 90s, we saw those clerks who used to work in the banks who would make entries in the passbook, they lost their jobs because net banking made bank passbook obsolete with bank statements. And the next 5 years, you will see mobile apps and shadow banking dramatically changing how BFSI industry changes. So you have a massive disruption coming your way, and this generation that you are, though you are in college, when you would complete 5 to 6 years of operations, you will see that the industry is not what you think it is as of today. We will have shadow banking, we will have invisible banking, which means all those ATMs that we see in pretty much every second building where people go and withdraw money, all those ATMs will disappear. All those second streets that had bank branches, all of that will also disappear. The question is, everything that disappears brings up new opportunity. In fact, I spoke about technological disruption. See, BFSI space may have AI threat, artificial intelligence threat. But the point is, you don't have to fear AI. You have to fear the person who uses AI, because that is where wealth would be created. That is where the strategy to create wealth would be created. And that is where the challenge would come from. So this is something that you need to really think about. So you can see skill gap, 42% AI skill challenge opportunities that we have in the markets today. 61% of the BFSI firms will see headcounts increasing by the end of 2026. 61% of banking firms have kind of forecasted that they would see about 61% increase in their headcounts by the end of 2026. And many of that opportunities would not be coming from cities like Mumbai or Delhi or Bangalore. They would be coming from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. In fact, you will see that about 70% of all the demat accounts that were opened post-COVID have not come from Mumbai or Delhi or Chennai. They have come from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Hiring will increase about 8.7% more than the GDP growth of our country. And the target workforce is about 2.4 million. So all of this has opportunities, because end of the day, this industry is growing 82%. This industry is seeing opportunity of 42%. So imagine all that money that will come, because skill sets would be created, employment opportunity would be created, money would be created. Where would the money go? The money has to be invested somewhere. So end of the day, it is a domino, or it could be a spiraling, cascading implications, because one segment grows, it creates new opportunities because money has to be invested somewhere, and we see a great opportunity in our industry going forward. What are the challenges? One of the biggest challenges that we have today is cybersecurity. You would have heard about digital arrests where people lose control of their mobile phones for simple mistake of clicking on a link rather naively or innocently. People have lost money. The bond markets in India is still undeveloped. Look at one simple comparison. Look at South Korea, how small it is compared to India in terms of GDP, etc. In Indian corporate bond markets, is about 18 to 20% of India's GDP, just about 18 to 20%. As compared to look at South Africa, a country that is as small, maybe not even the size of Kerala, has about 80% of their of the GDP is basically corporate debt markets. Look at the opportunity there. India has to grow. India needs money. Where would the money come from? The money has to come by liberalizing or opening up its financial resources or pockets, make it more transparent and easy for people to lend and borrow money. Of course, that is one opportunity that we have. It is believed, or it is expected, I would say, that by 2047, when we will celebrate the 100th year of independence, we will have pretty much all the companies in the stock exchange ESG compliant. ESG, for those who do not know, is environmental, social governance, an ethical means in how a company conducts itself, not just in terms of operations, also in terms of finances, its responsibility towards the society and environment. All of that, we will see pretty much every company in India would be required to be ESG compliant. And that also brings an opportunity because money has to grow, and money grows where ethics is open and transparent. Would you rather invest in a large cap with a better balance sheet, or would you rather invest in a small cap with a suspect balance sheet? So ethical matters also play a big role in that finances growing, in that money growing opportunity. Then financial inclusion. A very large rural population remains underserved. Okay, it is expanding to tier 2 and tier 3 cities is both challenging, but at the same time a massive opportunity. So all of these will what drive India, and this is where your generation also has to worry about. A while back, I spoke about generational differences in how we perceive financial products. I spoke about my parents' generation believing in fixed deposit and gold, real estate. My generation believed in stock markets. The millennials who came after me believed in mutual funds, and they still do. We all do. And generation that you guys believe in digital assets, cryptocurrencies, bitcoins. All of that faces a lot of cybersecurity threats. So with opportunity come challenges. So as much as we are creating opportunities for financial products, it is important that we also create a good amount of stability with regulatory support and also technological systems in place, so that we don't have things like digital arrest disrupting our wealth creation. Some opportunities for you guys. I'll just take another 10 minutes and we'll open the floor for Q&A. So some opportunities that we have today, this is what you're looking at. This is as of now. Obviously, by the time you guys graduate in 3 years' time, the pay definitely will go up. But you can see some of the opportunities that we have. Money creates finances, right? So here we have an equity research opportunity can earn anywhere between 6 to 14 lakhs. So imagine if someone earns 15 lakh, if we can save 33% of that, you have a 5 lakh investments that will go into the market. So imagine the generation that you are, how much money you can pump into the system. An investment banker and earn anywhere between 12 to 30 lakhs LP stands for lakhs per annum. Then we have quant trader, financial markets, fintech. You may have heard about algo trading. You may have heard about HFT, high frequency trade, etc. They earn anywhere between 20 to 60 lakh per annum. And fund managers earn as much as 30 to 40, 50 lakh per annum. So this is a segment that is growing. And at the rate of 22% growth rate CAGR, even if half at 11% increment in salary, you can imagine the opportunities that you have in front of you. skills that employers need. This is something that you would be learning as part of your course as well, because I am on the board of HSNC and HR college, so I know the curriculum is really up to the standards that the industry expects. So a lot of tech has been introduced. Python, I don't know if you know this, but 9 out of 10 profitable trades on the stock exchange today, 9 out of 10 profitable trades on the stock exchange today is done by algo traders, algorithm trading. And these guys come with skills like Python, SQL, etc. So it is something that you need to be aware of, because finances are no longer pure finance, it is technology embedded. So you need to make yourself career ready in terms of data analytics, in terms of modern language tools like Python and SQL, etc. Um, and most important of a data visualization. So obviously financial modeling, because of the fact that India will see a lot of opportunity in terms of M&A going forward. PE, productivity and VC funds are looking at a lot of opportunities in India. About 10 to 12% is what these guys have been targeting over the last 1 decade. Valuations will see a lot of demand. Power BI, Tableau, financial modeling will see a lot of demand. All of these skill sets are needed in today's wealth creation. So obviously you have a lot of opportunities. Besides that, ethical judgment, I just spoke about ESGs and so on. AI moment. We are almost pretty much coming to an end. Probably I'll take another 5 minutes. AI, we are going through a AI moment at this point in time. I just few days back, I just did a small little experiment with my students. I wanted to see if Claude, I don't know if you heard about the LLM called Claude. People have been talking very highly that Claude analytics are better than any other LLMs available compared to ChatGPT or Perplexity. I uploaded a company's annual reports, and I tried to see if Claude can do financial analytics. And believe me, pretty much 95% accuracy in output when Claude did it, and when I did it myself manually to see how much deviations Claude can have from a manual thinking that I would do. And pretty much all the financial analytics numbers that we did, data analytics, the accuracy or similarity was as much as 95 to 98%. So imagine you are entering an era where technology will take away a lot of your skills. But as I mentioned, there's no need to worry. You don't have to fear AI. You need to fear the person who uses AI. So what will human do? Humans will still maintain relationship, but I do not know with chatbots coming into the picture whether that can still continue. A lot of regulatory strategies are being developed, and what you should do, definitely, you should, as much as you learn finance, you should also learn Python. As much as you learn analytics using textbook, you should learn tools like Claude that can do data analytics for you. It's about making things faster. It's about making things more accurate. Humans will still remain the main brain behind all those things. um, Ability to focus on judgment. Keep an eye on SEBI. We are a growing economy at 7.5%. We'll see a lot of regulatory interventions in a good way. So you need to look at all the challenges that will come with finance becoming fintech and regulations coming in place to ensure the transition is smooth and efficient. So students like you need to be aware that the world has changed and world will change by the time you finish your graduation. And most important of all, what makes you successful, not just in career, but also in terms of investments, is curiosity. If you're curious, you will learn. If you're not curious, you will not explore anything. So to explore, you need to have a curiosity in the first place. So that is something that you need to build up upon, and that will make you more competitive in the markets. And of course, we live a social media era, so LinkedIn presence always helps, because that's where I get to learn a lot of things on LinkedIn when it comes to financial awareness, and despite whatever years of experience that I may have. So this is what you would want to do. When you turn 18, you would want to open a demat account, possibly buy your first share. Maybe you've been doing that with your father's account, but it makes a huge difference when you do it for yourself. Open a demat account, follow 3 finance pages. You don't have to read the entire newspaper. And today with ChatGPT, you can always put a prompt on ChatGPT to compile or refer to only three major newspapers, Financial Express, Mint, whatever, and make a one-page report on all the current affairs that is facing the world today. NISM exams, clear them. That will make you more competitive in the job markets, job ready, and also corporates now prefer that when they go for placements, students all have NISMs on the CV already because they wouldn't want to wait for another 3 to 6 months for them to study and appear for exams. So NISM is something that you would want to do. And most important of all, read annual reports. That will improve your vocabulary. I think we are at, as promised, I took about 45 minutes to deliver a quick session. I know it may have been interesting or it may have gone over your head, but the idea is to just give you a kind of a bait, if I can call it that way, that you are in for a very challenging uh, career. At the same time, you are preparing yourself for a good 3 years with HR. Any questions at this point? I would be happy to answer. Any questions, people?
Yeah, students having question, please raise your hand. We will allow you to unmute. All right, so I can see Soham with the hand raised. Please unmute yourself, Soham.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi, Tom. Good evening.
Sir, which are the most important financial and practical skills which we need to learn
See,
in
like I
order
said,
to?
Soham, this is a very good question, and you need to ask this question because I have got about 25 years of work experience, and I've seen offices change dramatically in terms of skills required. Like I said, it's not about knowing just financial analysis or financial statements, also about knowing tools now. So the major skills that you would want to acquire, of course, the syllabus in the college will cover about 70% of fundamental understanding, but baki 20% you'll have to self-acquire by doing data science kind of a diploma, learning how to use Python, learning how to use AI platforms like LLMs, learning how to use even if you know Excel, then how to embed Excel with the AI platforms. Today, Claude can create PPT. Today, Microsoft Word can be embedded with Copilot. So those kind of skills is what makes you job ready. See, everybody is, see, in your class, in this audience today, I've got 273 people listening to me, of which 5 may be staff, including myself. But in the class of 268, all of you have one thing in common. You will all have bachelors. But what will make you different or unique from the person sitting next to you is what additional vocational upskilling have you done? So this is era of vocational upskilling. So you would want to learn AI because definitely in next 10 years, if there are 100 people working in an office, 60 of them would be, 70 of them would be generative AI, 20 of them would be agentic AI, and 10 of them would be human beings. So you will not have, in another 10 years, you will have not one job, you will have multiple hustles. You will essentially be working from home quite possibly. You're working for 4 to 5 jobs at the same time. AI would be assisting you in that case. So please understand this is not finance era, this is a fintech era. Technology is something that will make you competitive in the markets. So you would want to learn AI platforms. You would want to learn modern tools like SQL and Python for data analytics and even for strategies that we use in financial markets, be that options or be that futures or all derivative markets as we know. I hope I've answered your question. Yes, Jarul?
Okay,
Jarul?
are you there? Jarul, please unmute yourself.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Hi, Jarul. Good evening.
Sir, I wanted to ask what exactly shadow banking and invisible banking is.
Great example would be like when I was a kid, when I was 8 to 10 years old. I remember going to a bank with my father. My father would have a passbook, and in those days, you can only deposit and withdraw money from the branch where you have the bank account. Today, I'm a SDFC bank account holder. I can walk into any SDFC branch anywhere in the country and deposit and withdraw money. I no longer have to carry passbook. I get my financial statements, my bank statements by email. I can give one example, another example. I had an account with SBI many years back. About 15 years back, I had opened a State Bank of India bank account to purchase a car on loan. The loan was obviously closed, and over the years, the need to have the SBI account was no longer there for me, so I stopped using it. In the last six months, I've been consistently getting letters from SBI asking me to revive the bank account by doing the KYC. Twice I went to their branch, and every time I went there to the branch physically, once in Churchgate where I have my office, and coincidentally my home branch is in Andheri, but I went to Kolaba branch, and twice had to come back because they refused to do KYC because I did not carry a physical copy of my photo. Physical copy of my photo in an era where you can open a bank account simply by standing against a white wall, taking a selfie, and open a Kotak 811 account in less than 24 hours time. So when I say shadow invisible bank, it essentially means that in another 10 years, there's no need for you to go to a branch to open a bank account. You can simply open an account using your cell phone by simply doing a digital KYC using Aadhaar card and taking a selfie. I don't need to use checkbooks anymore because I can scan someone's mobile number or a scanner. I can do a train ticket booking. I can send and receive money. So when I say shadow invisible bank, it essentially means that the physical bank as we know will disappear and banking would be digital in every sense. I hope I've answered your question. Next person, please.
Sujay, please unmute yourself.
If not him, Samar,
Yeah.
anybody else?
Sure. Samarth, please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good evening. I have the
Hi, Samar.
question.
Good evening. Yes, please.
Sir, I have to ask that is derivative market really working in India right now? Because, sir, I noticed that India has also increased the tax 0.015 in 2026 budget currently. And, sir, are people using hedging techniques? I have to
Okay.
ask.
First thing, Samarth, I have been dealing in derivatives for more than 20 years now. I can tell you that this may sound disappointing to you. I don't know if you have a derivative aspirant professionally or as a trader, but the fact remains that 9 out of 10 profitable trades in derivative markets today are not done by human beings, they're done by machines. And retailers, sadly, are on the losing side. Retailers have lost a huge amount of money doing derivatives. And one of the reasons why they lose money in doing derivatives because just by learning an online class, sitting in an online class or reading some two-pager internet article doesn't make you a derivative. Derivative is very complex. A lot of things need to be learned before you start doing it. Derivative, if stock markets today work at microsecond speed, in another 5 years, by the time you graduate, this microseconds will become nanoseconds, which effectively means that you would be fighting against a machine who can work at nanosecond speed, whereas humans may be intelligent, but I don't think we have the physical speed to do thousands of iterations, mathematical iterations in matter of seconds and microseconds. So derivative, and also understand the stock market, where somebody is losing money, somebody is gaining money. So if retailers are losing money, then alpha guys are gaining money. So it's not that everybody is in loss, somebody is in profit, right? Everybody can't be in loss, everybody cannot be in profit either at the same time. Someone has to lose for someone to gain money. So derivative is definitely working. The point is, we have seen in the last 5 years that people have been borrowing money. People have been pledging their gold to borrow money. They put their money in derivative markets without even knowing what derivatives are. So SEBI never said retailers should not do derivative. What SEBI says is that show the money first. Because over the last 20 years, people may have only 10,000 rupees in their demat shares, and the brokers will give them up to 1 lakh rupees ka margin I don't know if you understand the language which I'm speaking. So imagine if I am your broker. If you've got 10,000 rupees in your demat account, I allow you to trade up for up to 1 lakh. So you don't have that 1 lakh. I gave you that 1 lakh. So if you lose money, how will you return the money back to me? So if you lose, I lose. But at the same time, if you do not trade, I don't earn money in terms of brokerage either. So for me to earn money, you have to trade more. But do you have the knowledge and the understanding for it? So derivative is often misunderstood, and people are losing are those who simply do not learn. They simply listen to some podcast, or maybe they listen to some YouTube videos where the presenters would obviously have sinister motive, because the more lights they get on the YouTube, they earn from the YouTube links also, right? So it is the lack of understanding that is making retailers to lose money. And derivative is complex. And please understand that you are competing against machines. You're competing against investment bankers, fund managers who have got much larger risk tolerance than you and I have as average citizen. So that's the answer to your question.
Okay, thank you. Sana, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, Sana. Good evening.
Sir, I wanted to ask that if large language models like Claude are doing the financial analysis for us, then what will be my role as a CFA?
This is a very good question. See, let me tell you, ऐसा नहीं कि tomorrow morning when you wake up, the world is going to be AI. It's not like that. Definitely not like that, right? It will take some time, maybe another 10 years, another 5 years. But you don't have to fear. You can be a CFA. You can certainly be a CFA. But many of the things that a CFA would do on day-to-day routine tasks, that task is something that AI would be taking over. So which means that like for example, you cannot have an automobile factory where they manufacture car where every entity is an AI platform. That is not, there has to be some human somewhere, right? So the entire ecosystem, right? So the CFA will continue as it is, but many tasks that CFA would be doing at this point on, let's say, an Excel sheet, where you would be punching your Excel functions on the Excel sheet. Some of those punching would be done by a machine. So not that Excel will be 100% machine driven. Maybe Excel coding, let's say how you do a solver or how you run a macros on an Excel for a CFA, that would be done by AI platform. So not that everything would be AI. And like I said, I'll reiterate one more time, you don't have to fear the person you don't have to fear AI. You have to fear the person who uses AI. So CFA doesn't have to you the CFA doesn't have to fear losing job. You have to fear the person who knows CFA and the AI platform at the same time. I hope you follow what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
See, I can tell you, in my day-to-day life, just if you allow me just one statement. See, I pretty much 1/5 of everything that I do in my day-to-day life today is the AI platform. So I do financial analytics, I do ChatGPT, I do Claude AI. But when I'm teaching my students, let's say debt equity ratio or PE ratio, the teaching part is done by me, but the maths is done by somebody else. But is AI bulletproof as I speak to you? No, definitely AIs can still make mistakes. They can still make mistakes, certainly. So you don't have to fear that way. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Anything else, people?
Sarika, please unmute yourself.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi, Sarika.
So, sir, I had a doubt that now, as we are going to turn 18, after that, all are saying that you should do investments and all. So now there are also many options in doing investment, like SIPs, mutual funds, and everything. So, which is the like best option for beginner-friendly investment, and where should we go? Like,
See, two things. One is, should you buy shares individually? Definitely no. Not that you cannot buy shares, not that you are not good enough to be buying shares. When you buy shares, you need to know the business. See, nobody buys stocks. You are buying the business. How much do you understand the business? So before you buy HDFC Bank, you have to first understand what is HDFC Bank. Before you decide to buy Adani Port, whatever, you need to know what Adani Port does. So as someone said, very famous person, you don't buy the stock, you buy the business, right? So buying stock is not a bad thing, not a risky thing. It becomes risky when you do not know what business does the company do in which you are trying to buy a stock. That's number one. Number two is at this point, where at the age that you are at this point, SIP would be a lot more sensible for the reasons that you are still in that learning curve at this point in time. To buy a stock, you need to know technical analysis. To buy a stock, you need to know valuations. To buy a stock, you need to know AI tools, as I spoke little while back. If you have the knowledge, if you have the time and the energy, and most important of all, if you have the resources, stock markets can be expensive. As much as you can give 10%, you can lose 10% also within 2 to 3 days' time. Do you have the stomach for it in the first place? If you have, well and good. You should buy companies that are large caps. And most important of all, companies in which you understand the balance sheet. And most important of all, like I said, whether you understand the company's business in the first place. Number two, why SIPs are better is because SIPs are better because you get something called the averaging effect. Tomorrow, if the market falls, when you buy at a lower price one more time, it gives you averaging advantage. If you don't understand, just do a chat GPT at some point. Why does averaging helps in SIP, in stock in mutual fund investments? You will get the answer. I can't go into specific because of time constraint, but you should start SIPs, and nothing wrong in buying that one stock worth 500 rupees. If you can afford to spend 350 rupees in a McDonald's, if you afford to spend 300 to 500 rupees in a Pizza Hut eating pizza, and why not buy that one stock worth 500? You need to have a starting point. So buy that one stock, maybe a good stock, maybe a FMCG company, maybe a pharmaceutical company, maybe IT company. And definitely, as I speak to you, this is an era being disrupted by IT technologies driven by AI platforms. So why not buy AI IT stocks in thing? We don't have a huge IT stock, AI IT stocks in India. But if you see, Nasdaq is largely IT companies that specialize in AI. Today, India is the seventh largest stock exchange. It was fifth largest 3 weeks back. 3 to 4 weeks back, we were fifth largest stock exchange. Today, we are seventh. Why are we seventh? Not because we suddenly lost everything in terms of India's growth prospects. We lost because the tech stock in South Korea, the tech stock in Nasdaq saw a massive resurgence, and the government in those countries are focusing a lot on advanced technologies. Sadly, in India, our focus is a lot more diversified. So money moves there because the world believes that AI will disrupt, and that is the next disruption in terms of fundamental reasons for market to boom, or maybe the reason for the next rally in the markets. So do SIPs and buy stocks, but most important of all, buy stocks of a business that you understand. If you cannot explain the business in 5 sentences, I repeat this one more time. If you before you buy a stock, if you can't explain that stock's business in 5 sentences, then you do not know what you are buying. That means you are not ready intellectually or in terms of knowledge skills. I hope you get my point. Anything else, people? I can take 1 or 2 questions more, please.
Okay, sir. Arna, please unmute yourself.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Hi, Arna. Good evening.
So my question was, like you said, that every industry these days is changing rapidly. So what was it like when you first entered the industry? What is it like now, and how did you adapt yourself around it?
Okay. Let me give you one skill. One skill I've lost. See, I have no problem saying that. See, I'm 48 now. Maybe I have another 10 years of professional life left. But I can tell you, in financial markets, we used to have a strategy called market making. Okay. Now, what is market making? When you introduce a new security, yeah, a new financial product in the markets, people are not aware of it. What makes financial markets efficient is price discovery, and price discovery happens due to the presence of people. More the people, more liquidity in the markets, more easy it is to buy and sell. We see that in our day-to-day life as well. A typical sabzi wala market, more the presence of people, more price competitive the markets become. and the profits become maybe little better than bare minimal. So, so we used to have something called a tie-up with an exchange in Dubai called Dubai Gold and Commodities Exchange. So what we would do is we would buy and sell USD INR in India, and we would buy if you buy dollars in India, we'll sell dollars in Dubai. So in other words, if you made profits in India, you will make loss in Dubai. Net and net, you are in no profit, no loss. So this is called market making because I had a team of about 10 to 15 people who would put multiple buy prices, multiple sell prices. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So if when you look at the system, if 10 people are there, if 10 people put 20 buy orders and 20 sell orders, the 21st person, when you look into the system, you can see multiple prices being offered. So what you will think is that the market has too many buyers and sellers, the markets are efficient in price discovery. So this was done by humans about 20 years back. Today, as I speak to you with AI coming into the picture and the modern trading C++ Python coming into the system today, what 20 labor used to do back then, it can be done by one engineer with basic understanding of finance. So effectively, 20 labor would cost me 20 lakhs, but one engineer can do the same job. It will cost me only 7 lakhs. So you understand there's a business side of to essential reason to bring in new technology into it. So I had to adapt. So for example, when you asked about how I adapted. So I'm a teacher now. 5 years back, I used to do financial analytics on Excel sheet. Today I do the same analytics on Excel sheet, but today I have a support of Claude embedded into my Excel sheet. So Excel designs my spreadsheets. Excel helps me collate my spreadsheet. And the Claude helps me in data visualization and data presentation as well. So now earlier I would choose the graph. Today AI chooses me a graph that is a lot more interactive. So 5 years back, I was static when I presented something, when I present a PPT presentation, when I present an Excel sheet to my boss. Today, my Excel sheet is more dynamic because Claude helps me in bringing dynamic element to my spreadsheets. I hope you follow what I'm saying.
Thank you.
So, like I told somebody, I have not lost job. Thing is, I have adapted. So a CFA question is somebody asked me, CFS will not lose job. CFS will have to adapt to their skill sets and one fifth at this point in time, what they do individually as a human head, AI can do it in a much more efficient or let's say in a lot more dynamic, presentable way. You understand? One last question, people.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Hitansh, please unmute yourself. Hitansh, if you are on the meet, unmute yourself. No, I think he's not unmuting. Ma'am, sir, we also have the principal with us. Pooja ma'am has joined in for the session.
Wonderful. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening. I joined from college and I saw Rakesh ji starting his session. I said, I will not disturb him. But I was
Thank you.
learning. But I was so happy when he said that, the people who will know AI will be more dangerous than AI itself. So I
Correct.
think today I went to class and I was telling them about get mastery over AI. Do not get fearful. And there are 5 years down the line, many jobs will be redundant. So
Absolutely.
new age jobs with AI mastery should be in picture. And that is where I think everybody is pulling up their socks. So thank you so much, Rakesh ji. And also welcome to all the brand ambassadors of HR College. This induction series is basically to tell you how we interact with industry and get you industry experts in a way that you learn not just book, but today what industry is talking about, the relevant topics, the relevant concepts, the relevant updated trends, so that today an HRI should get an edge over any other student in the industry. And Rakesh ji would agree that whenever they have tried to hire students and if they found HR, it has always been an upper edge So these small dots or drops in the ocean are just the beginning. So welcoming all the brand ambassadors. I'm sure your 3 years with us or 5 years with us will be a journey that you will explore a leader in you, you will explore a personality in you, and you will explore an HRite in you. So, welcoming once again to all the brand ambassadors. And thank you, Rakesh ji, for
Always a
agreeing
pleasure.
And I'm sure such sessions are required even for faculty. So would request Rani ma'am to put up in the evening one chat session with Rakesh so that we also become updated with all the newer things that you all are telling children. I am sure faculty should also be a part of it and should enjoy it. So thank you so much. And
Always
thank
a
you
pleasure.
to
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Dr. Rani and entire coordinators of all the courses for taking lead to give induction lecture series to our students. Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to Dharti. Yeah.
Yes, so we can now proceed to the final vote of thanks. Sorry, students, we won't be taking in more questions. Shweta ma'am, if you're there.
Yes, Sarthi. So I would request Dr. Bhakti to propose a vote of thanks.
Bhakti ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Dharti ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of HR College of Commerce and Economics. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to Mr. Rakesh Nair for delivering such an insightful and enriching session. His vast experience in capital markets, fintech, talking about AI, different tools used by the corporates in today's world, more about 20 years of experience in derivatives, where he rightly given an example that out of 10 trades, 9 are being lost. And the academia has provided all of us with valuable perspectives and practical knowledge. The wisdom and industry insights shared today will undoubtedly inspire students to explore the dynamic world of finance with greater confidence and clarity. I would also like to extend our heartfelt thanks to our respected principal, Professor Dr. Pooja Ramchandani ma'am, for her visionary leadership and continuous encouragement in creating opportunities that bridge academic learning with industry exposure. And a special note thanks to our Vice Principal, Dr. Rani Tyagi and Dr. Jasbir Sodhi, who, whose unwavering support and commitment towards holistic student development make such meaningful initiatives possible. Most important, as Sir rightly said, uh, these initiatives reflect the institution's genuine concern for the future and career growth of its students. By organizing such industry-oriented sessions, which your commitment, Sir Rakesh sir, we will be requiring for sure, the college continues to empower students with practical insights, industry exposure, and the skills required to excel in ever evolving professional landscape. I would also like to thank all the faculty members, organizing team, and the students for their enthusiastic participation. And most important, the Q&A round was really good. These kind of logical questions at the level of FY have given me that yes, these kids actually knew about most of the possibilities. So yes, the questions was really good and it was well answered by Rakesh sir in a so layman and simple manner that the students can easily understand it well. and of course, enthusiastic participation of the students and contributions towards making this session a grand success. Once again, thank you, Rakesh sir, for sharing your valuable time, knowledge.
Always a pleasure.
We look forward to have many more enlightening interactions with you in the future, which I think the principal ma'am have already taken a commitment from you. So one session, please, maybe we can have a podcast, maybe we can have a one-to-one interview, or maybe we can have a panel discussion. We'll surely connect with you in the near future. So even we are upgraded, even our students are upgraded, and that the bridge between academia and industry can be fulfilled properly. Thank you so much for having a wonderful session.
Thank you. Really appreciate. Have a good evening, students. Nice to interact always.
Thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure.
With your permission, Pooja ma'am, can we officially wind up this session? Or we can allow students to on their camera to take the picture. Dati ma'am, are we taking geotag picture?
Yes, we can take geotag pictures, Bhakti.
Yes. Everyone, I would request to on your camera. Dati ma'am, can we allow them to on a camera for a few minutes?
Camera's on.
Cameras are on. Okay, students, kindly on your camera. Dati ma'am, is it possible for you to take the pictures, please?
Done, ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much. And most important, thank you, Dharti ma'am, for always being there. Your technical support throughout the session plays a really important role for us. Without that, the smooth functioning of the session won't be possible.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Rani ma'am, with your permission, can you wind up the session now?
Yes, please. Yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
good evening.
Have a good evening, sir.
Bye, everyone.